Hello everyone, welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. You know what's crazy? You know what I just realized? We keep getting new sponsors, okay? People keep joining the BayernNow membership, okay? That's absolutely crazy. I love you guys, man. If you want to join the BayernNow membership, our sponsor for today is Football Tutorials BK. I don't know why that name is so long. It's even longer, okay? You need to shorten that. Just make it FTBK or something like that, man. That would be so much better instead of me calling you Football Tutorials BK slash blah 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 blah. Whatever, okay? We're talking about Thiago ready to tackle Godkantara. And Bayern's asking price. Bayern Munich set the price. Karl-Heinz Rummenigge has pretty much signified to Liverpool that, hey, if you want our player, you're going to have to pay money for him. Thiago just won the Champions League. Yes, he has a year left in his contract, but in a normal circumstance, Thiago would be worth at least 50 million. Even if he's 29, he would be worth that. But because we have the virus, and also because he has a year left in his contract, and also because this whole schedule thing is so crazy, like we think we have a year with Thiago when it's August right now and it's going to be September next month, and then all of a sudden things are going to get all closer, then all of a sudden July is going to come closer, and all of a sudden he's going to leave. Okay, so things are closer right now with Thiago than it looks. Okay, he could genuinely leave in 4 months. No, he can agree a pre-contract in 4 months with Liverpool and leave next year. Next year's not that far away. It's not as far as we think. So things are weirder. That's why maybe he's worth the 30 million we're asking for. So right now, that's the price that Bayern Munich have set. And for me, I think it's a very fair price. I think this guy just won the Champions League. I don't think he did. He did win the Champions League. What do you mean I think? Okay? He won the trophy, the most prized possession in European football. He won it. And therefore, he has to go for more money. He has to be paid. Okay? First of all, look, Liverpool apparently agreeing personal terms, blah, 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 have those things done. Personal terms aren't like contract drafted up. No, that's not how it works. He still has a contract at Bayern. There is no personal terms agreed. Personal terms are, hey, man, mate, do you want to join Liverpool in Merseyside? Yeah. How many years? 4. That's what personal terms are. It's that simple to get personal terms done. So when you hear these reports like Thiago personal terms agreed, personal terms are very simple. The contract's not done. He clearly hasn't agreed his wages and all these things. Maybe he said, okay, I want to join for 4 years. And that's it. That's how it works. Klopp probably called them. Boom. Yeah, for sure. How many years? And then Thiago just said, he wanted maybe 3-4 years, and that's personal terms. So this whole thing with personal terms are agreed. So that means that Thiago's forcing a move down. No. Bayern agreed personal terms with Sane last year, and Sane became a Bayern player in 2019. Let's be realistic. But we agreed personal terms with him, even when the transfer wasn't close, because personal terms are very easy. They're the easy part. They're the first step. The first step is always easy. Personal terms are literally, deciding with a girl that you're going out with her. That's the easy part. The hard part is actually interacting and actually being on the date, because it's going to be difficult. You're going to have to be interactive and show that you're interested and all these things. That's the hard part. And that's where Liverpool are, in my opinion, very, very weird to me. Because first of all, Liverpool are weird. Why I'm saying that is because, look, you want Thiago, but I'm hearing all these reports about how unlikely it is you don't really sign him. I'm hearing about how old he is. I'm hearing about how ugly he is. He's only a Spaniard. He's not British. I'm hearing all these different things, these smoke screens over this transfer saga, and it's confusing. I think Bayern are going to say, hey, Thiago, look, we'll let you go, but you're a good player. You're valued here. We're going to have to price you at 30 million euros. That's a reasonable price. I don't think Thiago would go, oh, you're pricing me out of a move. No, that won't happen, because he knows that's a good price for him. He knows how much he's worth. I'm sure his agent understands his value. He's probably worth more than that in a normal window, like I said, even if he had a year left in his contract. He's worth more than that. So Thiago's going to think to himself, look at Leroy Sané. Well, Sané's 24. It's a different situation. But even, he could have gone for 30 million, but Sane still ended up going for 50 million because of the fact that, look, City would know, okay, he wants to leave. Yeah, but, he's not going to force a move. Thiago won't force a move. If Bayern didn't pay the money for Sane, City would have just said leave next year. But Thiago wants to go to Liverpool this year. So if Liverpool don't pay the money, the 30 million, and that's exactly what Bayern are looking for, then he can stay, and I'm absolutely fine with that. I always said this. Bayern don't need to sell Thiago. We don't need money. We're not going to spend the money on Kylian Mbappe. We don't spend money from transfers. We never really sell players and then buy other players with the money. No, we just sign players with the money we have. If we sell Thiago, the money we get, we're just going to keep it. So for me, it's not like we were never going to sign players if we didn't sell anyways. We just won the Champions League. We're one of the richest clubs in the world. There's no real need to sell Thiago. I'm not in a rush. I'd rather keep Thiago for an extra year, and I know he wouldn't mind it. Him leave next year for free than 20 million from Liverpool. That's just my genuine thought, and I think that's what Bayern also think, because Thiago's quality is very, very big for us. And also, you wouldn't need to sign a new contract and pay him more money. So in a way, you still keep his wage, and then he can leave next year, and then he's cheaper technically than signing a new contract with him and getting him all this money. And I think that's probably the perfect path for me. If Liverpool don't pay 30 million, exactly 30 million, or 25 million plus 5 million in realistic add-ons and clauses, then I don't really give a damn. I want Thiago to stay. So there we go there. And I think they might pay the money. But at the same time, I'm hearing all these sources from Liverpool. Liverpool Echo's a source. I think it's sort of like a journalist that works with Liverpool and get news from the club. They're saying that Thiago's very unlikely because he's going to cost a lot of money. And before this transfer saga started, there was so much talk of how much Liverpool didn't want to spend money. They wanted Timo Werner, and they didn't sign him. Liverpool wanted Werner a lot. Klopp did, because he's German, first of all. Not saying that's a favoritism with Klopp, but I'm sure he would like a player that he can communicate with and just have a personal relationship with. He also would have given Firmino a run for his money, and that's something that Liverpool crucially needed. They only had Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah, and Firmino. Those are the only players that they have up front. You can argue that Liverpool needed, more of a strike force, a new striker, or a new winger, or whatever, and Werner would have fit all the positions. He would have been a left winger, which for Liverpool is just an inside forward and a striker. You could argue that they needed Werner more than they needed Thiago, because Naby Keita is pretty much similar to Thiago. So it's kind of weird how they didn't spend that money on Timo Werner, and that was a bargain. Well, we all knew about the release clause, so it wouldn't have been a bargain, but it was still a really cheap price for a striker that was one of the top strikers in Europe in terms of goal scoring. So I don't know why they didn't go for Timo Werner all the way. And then you also think of Thiago's profile. He picks up his typical 2-month injury, or 1.5 month, and then he's out, and then he's back, and then he's always going to be fit like that. He's always going to return world class. It's not like he can tear a little muscle and come back and he's Phil Jones or something. Look, he gets his injury, so then you think, oh well, he doesn't fit Liverpool's profile of buying players that don't get injured. It's very confusing. This saga, this transfer thing, it weirds me out. I think there's a lot of things that need to be figured out. By the way, subscribe to the channel. I wanted to get to 4K before the end of this month, but we're only at 3,900, almost at 3,900. So 13 subscribers away. So subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'd absolutely appreciate each and every single one of you. This saga is crazy, and you know what? If Liverpool don't pay the money, like I keep saying, we keep Thiago, and I'm absolutely fine with that. I'd be more free letting him go for free than just accepting 15 million, because that's what it looks like they're trying to pay. So it could happen where look, Werner wanted to leave to Liverpool. We know for a fact he did not want to go to Chelsea. First of all, Timo Werner twerked for Bayern Munich, Miley Cyrus FC for 2 years. Bayern had to come out publicly and say, we don't want you because you don't fit our style. Even Julian Nagelsmann, pretty much confirmed it. He said Timo Werner wouldn't have been good against Atletico because there's no space in behind, and that's his game. Runs off the shoulders of the defenders with tons of space in behind. That's why he works so well with Leipzig, because they got a big old tall target man, and then Werner just runs off the striker. And that's it with Werner. Julian Nagelsmann confirmed it. Bayern didn't want Timo Werner. He wanted Bayern crucially. And then after Bayern said no, in January or something, it became about Liverpool. When he went to London and played for Tottenham, he gave an interview. It was just about Liverpool for him. It was constantly, I could tell he wanted to go to Liverpool. You could very much tell that was the situation. So what ended up happening is Liverpool were like, hey, we want you. Klopp wanted him. He said he spoke to Klopp, I think. And Klopp definitely wanted Timo Werner really bad. And they agreed personal terms in terms of saying how long he'd be here. But then it was a price. Leipzig didn't want to come down with the release clause, and Liverpool didn't want to pay the money that Leipzig wanted. But guess who could pay Werner's wages, have a project for him, and also just be a overall big club, close to Liverpool in terms of just success on the pitch, because they're gonna buy everyone. Chelsea. So that's the situation. Not saying Thiago would go to Chelsea, but I don't know. I mean, look, the newspapers, the journalists, I hate Twitter journalists, man, because they say the exact same thing after every week, like it's an update, but it's the same thing they said last week. They keep saying Liverpool are going to contact Bayern, but Bayern are demanding 30 million. That's it. That's all we need to know, right? If Liverpool contact Bayern and Bayern say 30 million, Liverpool say no, then the transfer's done. There's no, because I don't think Liverpool are that club where they're like, we missed out on Thiago. Let's go lose the league title. No, they're probably going to move on and buy someone else. And the thing is with Thiago is he'll be thinking to himself, well, Liverpool don't want to pay the money for me and they want me. Then, they don't really want me because they don't want to pay this money for me. I'm just going to stay here. And that's logical. He's a player. He's a human being. Human beings think like that. And people sometimes get carried away thinking Thiago's some Liverpool fan. No, he's not. It's not his dream move to play for Liverpool. If Man City were in the position they were in, had the manager they had, then he'd want to play for Man City. But he doesn't want to play for City because he wants to play for Liverpool. And that's a different type of system, different style. And that's fine with me. I don't mind that. But people make it out to seem like he's a Liverpool fan. No, he's not. He's not. He couldn't care less. He's a professional football player. Whatever club he plays for, he's a fan of that club. He cries whenever Bayern win. He's emotional. He loves this club. He wouldn't do anything damaging to this club. He knows this club appreciates him highly and rank him as high as saying he's one of our Bayern legends. And that's fine. He loves that. But, if Liverpool don't pay him, he might sign a new contract. You never know. The whole talk was that, hey, he had a contract with Bayern drafted up. He was going to stay, but then he thought last minute, I want to try something new. But then 4 months ago, he wanted to sign a new contract. Players can change their minds, and that's fine. Changing your mind is part of life. I change my mind about players every 90 minutes. I think Coman's the greatest winger in the world, and then next game I think he's absolutely crap. It's just how it works, and he's going to change his mind if circumstances don't align perfectly. And that's it. It's not like Liverpool is fan club. He loves them so much, like he only wants to... No. I bet you one of the biggest reasons he wants to play for Liverpool is because they have Brazilians in there, and he's a Brazilian. That could be a great reason. That's how life is. That's how life is. And people make it out like if he doesn't go to Liverpool, he'll die and put in a transfer. He won't put in a transfer. Thiago would not do that. He wouldn't. He wouldn't hand in a transfer request like, let me go. No. He just stay. He's friends. He loves Lewandowski. He loves Thomas Muller. Him and Neuer are, magically best friends despite the fact that they have nothing in common. Goalkeeper that wanted to be a midfielder that thinks he can do the goalkeeping as well. They have nothing in common. So, right. That's where we're at. By the way, thank you everyone so much for the support. I appreciate it. We're champions of Europe. And that's it. Set the asking price. So thank you everyone so much for watching this. We'll see you tomorrow. Mia san mia and peace. We will. And I'll see you tomorrow. Who's will? Who's we? Well, I guess we'll see each other tomorrow then.